Whoa. We are back. XYXX. Right? What is this? Episode 12? We're getting up there. Okay. It's been a while. I'm feeling hungover clearly. Actually, not clearly. I look fabulous. If you go on YouTube, you'll see. I am joined by someone very special to me. Probably would have been married if we were lesbians, but we're not. So Dina, my roommate from college. I don't know if I should say this publicly.
Whisper it. No.
Okay, but all right, don't tell anyone, guys. Yeah, I signed up for
XYXX.
Thanks for being here, baby.
Thanks for having me.
She's visiting. Dina comes every Christmas, every Thanksgiving. You're just here for 4th of July. We got fucked up yesterday.
You already know I'm a part of the familia. So.
Yeah, she's an honorary Dominican, but she's also Bosnian Muslim. And that is important to the story that we're getting to today. Let's get into it. How do you feel like you being Bosnian and you being Muslim, growing up Muslim, has impacted your dating life in general? Because I know she literally be going to like 20 weddings this summer. You guys marry like it's nobody's business.
Yeah, we married pretty young.
I can imagine that it's a lot of pressure.
Oh, yeah, it's extremely difficult. And especially coming out of college, too. It's like, now I'm fully employed. I know how to cook. I know how to clean.
Period.
All right. So what's next?
Wifey.
Where's your
material.
husband? Type,
yeah.
You know? And I chose the more like untraditional route just because I was in a relationship in the beginning of college that was 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's
crazy.
Shocking to say.
You don't have to tell them. I mean, like, you're just aging us. But
I know. But yeah, so my last relationship was 6 years ago, and it was like my first serious commitment. Just because of the fact that I brought him around my family. And when you bring a boyfriend that you think is a potential prospect,
husband.
Prospect to be a husband,
crazy.
It's a big deal. And so you can't just bring any man or anybody around your family if you're not willing to commit to it 100% in the long run.
Okay.
So that's what was really difficult for me. After that breakup, it took me a lot to reflect. I mean, you know the struggle that I've gone through with that. And it's really just impacted the way I perceive life and the way I continue dating because, I mean, I've talked to men here and there, but it's no one I want to bring around my family.
So was that your last boyfriend?
That was, yes.
Dang. And did you only bring him around because he was Bosnian?
Not just because he was Bosnian, but because he was a man of a strong work ethic, very disciplined, he was like an honorable man.
Okay, but forget him. He's an ex for a fucking reason, okay?
Being a Bosnian Muslim woman, I feel like it's just a little bit more strenuous because the fact that I said is once you graduate college, they're looking for marriage. Like your family wants you to be married already. And it's just really difficult because you're now battling, trying to figure out where you stand in life and with men that are of your interest, you know, but not trying to go oppose the cultural norms in a way. Because I remember making a comment to my mom that I would wed out of the religion.
Oh.
And
which your brother did.
My brother did, yes. So my brother is married to a Puerto Rican. So shout out to the Puerto Ricans out there.
Puerto Rican. Okay.
But so on top of that, my brother being married outside of the religion, I remember I made a comment to my mother saying how I would wed outside of the religion. And they made a comment, her and my father said, if I married outside of the religion, that they would basically disown me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which isn't out of the norm.
It isn't out of the norm, but just hearing that from your parents, you know, it kind of makes you reflect a lot.
Totally.
So going forward, I felt like I was on and off with religion as I was like really extremely like interested in other
Cultures.
other cultures, but other religions also. And, you know, and then questioning religion, you know, I feel like as I'm getting older, I have a lot of questions. And when I would go to my mom to ask them, she just wouldn't really acknowledge them or kind of brush them off and just disregard it. So
Yeah.
I went on a, like, I guess searching spree, I don't know, of trying to find my identity. But I have come to the conclusion that whoever I end up being, like, a companion of mine would have to be Muslim.
Okay. Whatever you think would work for you. Okay, with that being said, okay, the reason we have you on today is because you, again, since you've been open to different types of people out there.
I sure have.
Yeah, your dating experience is unique in that you are a sugar baby. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that started in college, right?
It did.
Yeah.
I remember. Oh my gosh, Amy hated me that night.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
So I feel like a lot of us in college, you know, we're broke college kids. So my thought process was, okay, where do I go to find a rich husband? Or not rich husband. Where do I go to find a rich man? And I put that into Google, and this website came up, like seeking.com or like some sugar daddy website. And
Seeking arrangements.
Yeah, it used to be Seeking Arrangements. Now it's just Seeking.
Oh, okay.
But so yeah, I created an account and chatted with some people, and then it was weird because this was also like, I don't even think dating apps were that big at the time, besides like eHarmony and like Match.com.
In college?
No, but this was like early on, the first semester of when I transferred. So like our junior year.
Okay.
I don't know. Or maybe it's just because I wasn't on dating apps, so I didn't know much about them.
Okay.
So I don't really know. But that's like the whole era of when I was getting introduced to like online dating, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up finding that website. I chatted with some men, and then I ended up meeting a guy that was from a nearby town, and we just met for dinner at like the waterfront of where we went to college.
Mm-hmm.
And we had dinner, we had a conversation. He was kind of an interesting man. And then
yeah, I bet.
he had his own like telecom company or something. I don't even know. But yeah, after the dinner, he basically just like tried to hand me $100 in the lobby of the restaurant, and I was just like, excuse me, like what? And he was just like doing it out of like plain sight. Like you could tell it was purely transactional.
No. Because you're saying you literally went on this website to find a man that had money or would be willing to share his money.
Yeah.
And then you went on this date with an interesting man. I want to know what that means. And then obviously he gave you money for the interaction, right? Is that not how it works?
It is, but you try to make it subtle. Like you don't want it to be known, you know?
Okay.
Especially if they're a bit older. You don't want it to come off like that.
Gotcha.
So I dressed like I was going to an interview. I just dressed in like business professional clothing.
Interesting. Yeah. And I remember specifically when you first started doing this, we were friends already. And I think you told me that you were going to meet up with some guy. And I was like, do you want me to wait outside? Do you want me to like drive you there? Because I'm super skeptical and weird about internet people in general, because people are weird. And so you went on this thing, and then you turned your location off, and then you weren't answering the phone. And I'm like, that's it. My friend fucking kidnapped.
I turned off my location and I muted my phone, like I think on airplane mode or something. So you and our other friend wouldn't give me calls.
Yeah.
And blow up my phone.
But that is dangerous. Tell them.
I know. Always disclose where you're going, especially to like your closest friend.
Yes.
You never know even like dating apps like Tinder or Hinge or whatever.
For sure.
You know.
Always let people know.
Safety is key. If you don't know, like you never know who you're meeting on the other side, you know. Mm-hmm. There's like, I'm gonna end it there.
Safety is key, period.
Period.
Okay, so that was your first experience into
The sugar dating life, yeah.
sugar
I
relationships.
remember right after that, I felt like kind of weirded out because I wasn't like I don't know, I just wasn't attracted to him or anything. Like it was
Yeah, I
just
was gonna ask, what does
yeah.
interesting mean? Was he old? Did he
Um,
smell? Did he look nice?
he had an accent.
He had an accent.
He had an accent, and he was a bit older than what his photos portrayed.
Okay.
So kind of like, I wouldn't say he catfished me, but essentially something along the lines like that.
So what do you think when you go into these situations? Are you like, I might have to have sex?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Not from the beginning. I feel like you create a foundation within yourself of what your limits and what your boundaries are and what your non-negotiables are. I feel like, you know, and I feel like if you're going into this realm, you have to be extremely strong-headed because, you know, you can get into your thoughts a lot. And don't get me wrong, I'm very confident, and I feel like I am a mentally strong individual, but at the same time, you know, we all are our worst enemy, and you know sometimes those thoughts can be a little loud in your head. So
what do you mean? As in like
like
am I a sex worker
no
type questioning?
definitely not. No, for sure not.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying is like you have to create those boundaries and like set limits to how you want to be perceived and what it is for you.
Okay. So what is it for you?
So for me, in the beginning, I was looking at it more from a financial standpoint, obviously being a broke college student.
We were broke.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a different dynamic or element when it comes to these types of websites because the whole purpose is to finance or give someone else an allowance. So it's more like, is it a power thing?
I definitely believe there's a stereotype on it, but that's where I'm talking about when I say you have to be strong-minded when you go into it and have like your personal like boundaries on how you want to handle that. So for me, it started off with like financial purposes, but as I got to know more people and meet more people, it ended up being, I looked at it as like an opportunity of of being around like an affluent class because, you know,
I like that.
You know, that thinking from like a business standpoint, it's like, I want to better myself despite the fact of how I'm doing it. I just feel like I build more connections that way. Yeah. And it's not always sexual. Like I've been on many dates with men from the site, but I've never fulfilled any sexual needs with them.
Whoa. Okay.
So like I said, it all stems from like your boundaries. And I say that from the beginning. Of course, like a lot of these men that are quote unquote creepy, obviously they're much older, but not all of them are. And my, I guess, age range would be like from early to mid 30s to like mid 40s.
Do you have to be attracted to them?
Well, honestly, when you're trying to, I feel like you don't necessarily need to be attracted to them, but if you are going to go the intimate route, then you do want to look for that compatibility. Like you want to be compatible with someone and want to like enjoy their company, enjoy their presence. You don't want to just be around someone just for like a transactional purpose, you know? That's not fulfilling.
Okay. Cuz I think that's definitely, what is it? A stereotype? Stigma where like people think people think that if you have a sugar daddy, like you're fucking them, you're having sex with them. I gotta stop cursing so much.
No, it's okay.
Or like they have like weird kinks. Like I feel like people have this idea of what a sugar relationship is, but Dina is here to break it down for us.
I mean, no, of course. I mean, to be honest, you can find that also within dating apps too, you know? So I feel like there are a lot of people out there that do have fetishes and, you know, have all these certain kinks. Like, you know, there's a lot of like BDSM people that are into that. And
Tell us what BDSM is.
It's, oh my gosh, I don't even know the meaning. It's like bondage.
Oh, okay.
Like, hold on.
Yeah, let's look it up.
BDSM is bondage, discipline, or domination, sadism, and masochism as a type of sexual practice.
So Instagram had a lot of questions for my girl. And so we're going to dive right into it because I'm trying to connect with you guys on a much deeper level. So let's talk. Let's answer some of these questions you guys had, because I got a lot of feedback on this topic. Okay, clearly it's a popular people have a lot of questions. Okay,
I'm not surprised.
Someone said, how do you handle having the money talk? So obviously, like you said, there's an arrangement that goes on from the jump. People are like, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I can provide. So how do you say, like, I want this much money? Or do they offer?
You know, it all depends what you're looking out of it.
Okay.
Majority of the men are looking for PPMs, which is pay per meet.
Like
So,
pay per view?
Like, no, it's pay per meet. So, like,
Oh, yeah.
quote unquote, I guess, prostitution.
Jesus.
How you would interpret it.
No, it's not though.
No, definitely not. No, because, you know, you just come up, like I said, you come up with an arrangement.
Okay.
So a lot of people will reach out to you like that, and you just give them you provide them with what you're looking for.
What are you looking for?
Not that.
Not
No.
money?
Not in that aspect, but I'm not looking to just meet you one night and just like have a fling, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a one night stand in a way.
Okay, now I'm interested.
But you're getting compensated for it.
Okay, but now I'm interested because you said you're not getting physical with these people, with these men.
Yeah. Depending if there's connection. Yeah.
But you want to be compensated.
Yeah, of course.
So the first conversation.
I mean, doesn't every woman? What, like when you go into traditional dating, don't you want the man to provide for you? Don't you want him to fine and dine you? Don't you want wine and dine?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And you want him to be able to take you to new places, do new adventures, you know, be spontaneous. And that's what I'm looking for, along with, like I told you, mentorship. And, you know, when you become discussing the financial aspect of it, I don't talk about it until we're face to face.
So you guys don't even talk about money. So you're literally walking into this blindly.
I tell them whatever they're comfortable with. And then once I meet them, I tell them like what's substantial and what's not.
Okay, so to you, that's not the biggest deal. But what if they're not offering that? What if they're like, I'm just trying to chill and I'm just on here and I have money and I'm trying to meet up with you?
Then
is that a deal breaker?
Well, for me, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the financial part does play a little bit of a role.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
I just wanted you to admit that. Okay, cool.
I mean, why else would we be on the platform?
True.
You know?
Yeah. Someone said, someone said, how does the female determine if her pussy is cheap or expensive? Like, what if he lowballs you? What if he's like, I could give you $60, but I'm trying to...
Well, I hope no one's accepting that.
Yeah. No, true. But how do you know, like, oh, no, that's not enough?
I've been lowballed, but I know my worth, and I don't accept that.
So what do you say? Like, how's that conversation? I'm so weird when it comes to, like, talking about money in general.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people are, actually.
Yeah.
But I feel like because I work in, like, the financial realm, that it's just, like, it's like, in my nature.
Interesting question. When you are traditionally dating, do you disclose that information? Because I'm so private when it comes to my money. Like, I've been in full-on relationships where I never bring that up.
Well, it's never been discussed because I've never been that serious with anybody. So,
okay.
Where in the arrangements, like, it is kind of serious because majority of the men are looking for something long-term. And they're hoping that's reciprocated.
Are they?
Yeah, a lot of them are.
Long-term as in, like, let's get into a relationship, or long-term as in, like, let's have this arrangement for a while?
Long-term, like, companionship and sorts of, like sugar daddy, sugar baby aspects.
Okay.
Yeah. And then sometimes that prolongs into a genuine relationship or into possibly marriage.
Okay. So, yeah, how do you determine if it's cheap or expensive? Like, obviously, you know your worth, but, like, how would you suggest to someone to bring that up?
Okay. I would suggest knowing that you've already come to the fact of why you're doing it and what's the purpose. What's the purpose? Are you in college? Are you
In credit card debt?
Are you in credit card debt? Are you having financial difficulties? Like, I feel like just coming off from straight from the get-go and expressing where you're coming from, they will appreciate that more. However, you don't want it to come off as you just wanting to fulfill your own financial needs, you know?
Yeah. So you kind of have to like play a game a little bit.
You don't want
it to come off like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But of course it's discussed. Most of the time, like when they ask what you're looking for, you state the facts, and then if you don't mention the financial aspect of it, because I've gone on a few dates, and in the beginning, on the first date, I didn't discuss that until like the second or third date. So then I got to know them a little bit more, and you know, so
I guess that's a good way to like have their guard be down. Like, all right, she's not just interested in the money.
yeah.
So then you wait till like the third time.
And
It's kind of like when you're hanging out with a guy
yeah,
and you're like, I'm not gonna
like hook up with them on the first date,
give him head till like the 10th time.
or that.
Yeah.
But actually, a lot of these women are, from what I hear from the men, the male side, they say that a lot of them want to be compensated for their like initial meet, or the first time they meet face to face.
For sure.
Yeah,
I remember in college.
they'll compensate you for like your travel, like if you have like no transportation, or like having to, if like you're a single mom and needing to take care of kids, like they'll compensate you for that. But they also want to be compensated for their time from the beginning, and already in their mind, in like the other person's mind, they're like, all right, she's just purely in this like for financial reasons.
We should put a what is it? A caveat about safety.
Oh yeah, no, an emphasis on that, you know. But I feel like regardless, like what app or what platform you're on and going on dates with these men, or women, vice versa, you know, I feel like you have to be extremely careful. There are crazy people out there, and like we've mentioned like earlier, is there are people like with fetishes and stuff, and if that's something you're not accustomed to or not comfortable with, you need to speak up on that. And I am, you know me, Amy, you've known me for many years now, and I'm very vocal on something that I disagree with or don't agree with, or am not comfortable with following through or comfortable doing. I just feel like you need to be able to express that and just be vocal about it. So I feel like
I think it's tricky when there's like a control. I don't want to say control, but like I mentioned, that power dynamic, because like in their head, they kind of have the upper hand. Like, she's here because she needs something that I can provide. You can't think that
though.
Okay.
So you have to work on that mentally. That's why I say you have to work on yourself internally, but thoroughly, because you need to think that he needs me. I don't need him. He needs me. And because he needs you, you're there to be able to provide certain things that they aren't able to attain, or, you know, like you have to flip the thought process on that.
Does that ever make you question them? Like when you're like, they need me, but do they?
I mean, you know, to be honest, like, yeah, I have had that in the past, those thoughts in the past. But as I like continue to like go on more dates and try to see who I'm compatible with, no, I just looked at it as something like mutual, you know?
Okay.
So
I feel like it all goes back to what you said. Know what you're doing and why you're doing it. And that's with everything in life. Okay. Moving on. Someone said, where is the application to be a sugar baby? I think we talked about that a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
There's a few sites, but I'm sure if you Google it, you'll find your way.
Yeah. How did you know what to put on your profile?
Oh, that's a good question. So in the beginning, it's kind of trial and error, to be honest, because in the beginning I had like a sentence or two. I think I remember sending it to you.
Yeah.
And asking for what do you think of this? You know? And I wasn't getting as much traction. And so, you know, I did some tweaking.
Are you saying what I said was whack?
No. It's just,
Okay.
I don't think it was whack, but I think like they probably were looking for a little bit more detail or more specificity, because I was very
Specificity.
yeah out like, is that a word? That's a word, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like I had it a broad statement in a way. So I got a little bit more specific and added a little bit more detail.
What are some things that work and don't in your bio?
Oh, that's a good.
Asking for a friend. I'm just kidding.
So I feel like definitely stating on your profile what you're looking for, why you're looking. I guess stating why you're looking for it, but not being as blunt about it. Just, you know, saying like one sentence, like a punchliner. ChatGPT it if you are struggling.
Yeah. Ask AI.
Definitely have like a catchy, like head title, head title or whatever.
Do you put your actual photo?
I do, but I block it off. So like either my face is blurred or I have a box on my face, and all my photos are private. So they have to request that. And usually after I see like their like first message to me, and they'll message me, and then they'll like request to see my photos. However, I don't accept that until a few responses, just to see if
like feel them out.
Yeah.
So
but that's just me personally.
I have a question.
Yeah,
what is the difference between essentially selling yourself for being a young, beautiful woman that one of these men are like interested in, versus someone who's on OnlyFans selling themselves for someone who's like interested? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And I think that's a good question. I believe you're not selling yourself on this platform. And if anything, you're looking for a companion to come to a compromise on what you're both seeking out of it.
Not you giving such a political answer.
Oh God, I hope it's not sounding like that, but
no.
Like I'm just speaking facts, you know?
No, pretty good.
But in reference to OnlyFans, like they're subscribing for a service for a reason, you know? So that's the way I look at it. Like she's a hot commodity. So either if you want to see her, you're going to want to have to pay to see her. You know, that's the way I see that platform.
Cool.
Yeah.
You're good with your words. Someone said, what's the highest paid thing you've done? So like, I'm assuming that this person is saying like each service, like let's say if we go out to eat, that's $100. But if we fuck, that's like 2,000.
So, okay. So there are instances like that. Cause I've been traveling a lot, and whenever I go to a new place, I hop on the site like at least a week before or 2 weeks before so I can scope
the area.
Yeah. And by the way, y'all should check it out in Miami.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
And Silicon Valley, but that's another talk.
You know what? Like, I feel like because you've been in this world for like a couple of years, because you started.
But you know
college.
what's crazy? I have been. At the same time, I have not as much as others. Like, you know, there are like masterclass courses on this and how to set up your profile. And like, I've learned a lot. Like, there's so much on TikTok.
I know you've done a lot of research because
course.
you've literally recommended like Sugar Daddy or Sugar Mommy podcasts that I should listen to.
Yeah.
And I was going to say that at a certain point, because like we've been friends for so long and like you've kind of been doing this for a couple of years.
I've been trying to convince you to.
Yeah, you've been trying
especially
to convince
living
me
in like
to.
New York. Like, come on.
I know.
I met a sugar daddy from New York.
And I think, I don't know if I should say this publicly.
Whisper it. No.
Okay, but all right, don't tell anyone, guys. Yeah, I signed up for on one of these websites, but I never did anything. The conversation never left the chat, and I was just like too terrified. I'm like so terrified of online dating in general, just because or like just the internet in general.
So how do you meet men?
I do dating apps sometimes.
All right, that's the same thing. That's
Yeah.
online.
It is online.
What's the difference?
I think because
Have you not ever heard of like the Tinder swindler?
It's mutual playing grounds. It's like, okay, like we're probably the same age because I fix my I filter my options.
Okay.
Use Hinge for if you're filtering your options. If you're using Tinder, it might be like a
Hit it and quit it.
hit it and quit it kind of thing.
Yeah, I learned that
If you're using
the hard
Hinge,
way.
you kind of have to like make more of an effort to like create your profile, and you can filter it. So yeah, like I have been on dating apps, but this website in particular that you like put me onto,
Yeah,
there was a lot of interesting people on there
there are.
that I was
That's why you
like,
have to like scope it out.
it's like you're asking yourself more of the question like, why are you on here? Like there must be something wrong with you. And then also some of the people on there have like regular ass jobs. Like my dad makes that much money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So
That's why I always make sure to look at the.
yeah, like they gotta be making at least $1 million. At least.
I'd say 7
Vivi
figures.
said $1 million is a lot.
I said it. I'd say 8 figures, not 7.
Yes.
That's
I
just
agree.
me.
8 figures, not 7. You heard? Okay. Someone said no questions, but just make sure some of that money is going into AI tech stocks, Apple and Tesla. This person's very smart. They're trying to help you invest your money. Someone said, and this is a wonderful, very thought-provoking, intriguing question. What do you tell your parents? Especially your Muslim-ass parents.
Well, good thing I don't live with them. But when I did, you know, I don't know how involved your parents are with your life. Mine were extremely. However, honestly, I do have to admit, it was always, I'm going out with a girlfriend. I'm going, you know,
Yeah.
if you're really going to like a fine dining establishment and you're living with your parents or something, you know, say that like you're going to a best friend's like birthday party or something. Or
I think more so like, where's this money coming from? Like, what do you tell your parents?
Oh, in that aspect. Okay.
Yeah.
My
parents don't know my business.
Just tell them you've been working hard. They don't gotta know.
Okay.
I come to the fact that like, you know, yes, my parents are strict and my upbringing was something, but at the same time, I've learned to, as close as I am with them, I've learned to keep my personal life private because sometimes, like I said, that noise can be too loud, you know?
Yeah.
And you can't have that cloud your judgment.
Yeah.
Because
You're like, I have a goal here and that's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to do.
Exactly.
Okay.
But at the same time, of course, like you want to respect them.
Of
And if you
course.
don't feel comfortable lying about it, then I don't know, sit down with your parents and explain to them what you're trying to do.
Then maybe you shouldn't be in the business.
Yeah.
Okay, someone said, is it hard finding love elsewhere? I don't think you're looking for love per se.
I wouldn't say I personally am at the moment. However, who's to say that it can't grow? That like love can't come out of it.
Okay.
If you do see that you're compatible with them and, you know, he's treating you well and vice versa.
Okay.
Why can't there be something more there?
All right. That's fair.
And sometimes, you know, one person does get feelings over the other. But it's all
Has
about
that ever been you? Is it usually you?
No.
No.
I feel like you already know this about me, but I'm very strong in being able to detach my feelings from my emotions.
Yes.
So
you are.
that's because I've done, I feel like, a lot of internal work to be able to distinguish that and be able to detach myself.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right, last question. Does your sugar daddy expect you to just be loyal to just him? The other question that I asked was, is it cheating if he decides to like do stuff with other girls, but does he expect you to be loyal?
It depends what's in the arrangement. If he requests that, then so be it. Be faithful. But if not,
and are you honest about that?
Oh, of course. I'm extremely transparent from the get-go, and so forth. However, you know, that's all of what you discuss in the beginning.
All right. Lastly, I asked IG just two simple poll questions, and I just wanted to share the answers with you guys. I said, have you ever considered having a sugar daddy? 86% of people said yeah.
I know that's right.
8% of people said I got my own money, and 4% said broke, but no thanks.
You know what's crazy? Is that I already got my own money, but additional funds don't hurt.
Yeah.
Additional funds don't hurt. But at the same time, you know, like I told you, I'm going into it with a chance of gaining some sort of opportunity out of it too, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Vivi, have you ever considered a sugar daddy? And stripping. Have you ever like done anything like that? Like go on one of those websites or anything? I've never gone as far as going on the website now. Yeah. I will say when I did go on those websites, I'm telling you guys, it's an interesting thing because a lot of interesting people on there. A lot. I'll say that.
you know, it was difficult for me in the beginning until I started just seeing them as like just regular people.
Yeah. And understanding the pattern. Like I feel like you're like pretty accustomed to the pattern of like what people are looking for, how it works. And you're right. The conversations I did have, which again, it didn't go past a couple of like back and forth chats before I was like, all right, yeah, I can't fucking do this.
Yeah. But
they were literally straight up like, hey, I can do this, this, and this for you. You can do this, this, and this for me. Like, how do you feel about that?
Very
it's very like off the job.
Yeah, it's like no like cookie cutter. It's like it's straight to the point, which is like another reason why like I find it more interesting as opposed to traditional dating. That's why I had mentioned also that I was doing sugar dating and I was traditional dating. Like it was an experiment I was doing just to see the difference in the quality of men and the difference in like interactions and conversations and entertainment. And
what do you feel? What would you say about the quality of men on those dating apps? Like, is it few and far between where you meet someone that's like actually cool?
I mean, I feel like my selection in general, like everyone's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Viv, what's your question?
Vivi has a question. What's the oldest you've interacted with, says Vivi?
65 years old.
65 years old.
I mean, he looked 40.
Okay.
Which was crazy. Like, when he told me that, I was so taken back. I was like, yo.
Does he have to be handsome?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
And preferably, yeah.
Yeah.
But
all right. What would make you be intimate with these people?
oh, I feel like wow, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm gonna need to think about that one. I feel like what would make me be intimate with them would be them showing how compassionate they are. You know, I don't just like hook up with anybody that is not like that I'm not comfortable with. I feel like they have to make me feel extremely comfortable in their company and be very respectful. And I feel like their character would have to say a lot about themselves. And obviously, of course, like physical attributes, how they carry themselves and everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like it'll just happen naturally. Like I personally, I don't go into anything forcefully. I always like allow it to happen naturally. And, you know, I express that too.
So do you go to their house?
Sometimes I'd go to their house. We'd go to their house, their place, or we'll go like on a vacation somewhere, or we'll go, I don't know. It's always different.
I remember
some might have condos.
One time specifically, you were like, this guy is not being honest with me about his identity. He was like super private about his job and like how much money he made for real, or like,
you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Is now we're like lifelong friends.
Really?
Yeah. And I respected the reason why he didn't do that, because he's pretty well known. Yeah. Let's be honest, like a lot of women kind of want a man that is able to provide, that's more successful, that's this and that. However, that's not always like that accessible.
Mm-hmm.
So
Do you ever question their intentions?
no, because you kind of already know their intentions from the beginning.
Okay, but I'm a Dina. You can't just trust these people based off their word. And that's one thing that I really want to emphasize. Obviously, like, I want you guys to be safe out there. If this is something that you're considering, obviously, like what you said, definitely think about why you're doing it and what you're doing. But specifically,
And always let someone know. Do not ever go out there without like
good advice.
Yeah, no, definitely.
You know
Always
why?
let someone know. At least someone like don't even be afraid to tell like your friend. I remember in the beginning I was extremely afraid of like, oh my God, are they gonna think of me like this or think of me as that? But honestly, yo, that's just like chatter. Like people are gonna come at this video, this podcast for this episode. Probably you're gonna have haters, but you know, so what? I feel like nowadays everybody has something to criticize about. Like, why can't we just be there for one another to support one another? You know, like why does that matter? But definitely tell someone where you're going, or you don't have to tell them why you're going there, but just emphasize on that.
This is a new lesson she learned.
Yeah,
we literally used to get into fights about that.
Yeah. Oh, you want to know a crazy story? Did we say that? I can't recall, but my first time going to meet someone, I had told Amy about it, and she was like, all right, should I go? Like, do you want me to be with you? I was like, no, it's okay, I got it. And so, yeah, I learned my lesson the hard way after I got back home.
Anyways, moral of the story, if you are hopping on this endeavor, please let your friends know where you're going. If you have any information on these people, again, they have like a little bit more power, which, you know, is just dangerous in general. So be safe, don't be naive, and even if the arrangements are set in place or whatever, just you know, make sure that you are aware of your surroundings. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I'm Dina. I love you.
I love you.
I love you so much.
Are you sad that I'm leaving tomorrow?
I'm actually really sad that you're leaving tomorrow.
Amy and I have been living together for like a week again.
I know. It's been nice.
It has been.
Brings back good times.
I know.
Crazy times.
Enjoy your and Viv's company.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions for Ahmadina, I don't know if I'm going to tag her because
I prefer not to be.
Yeah, I think you want to be anonymous.
I do.
Which is cool. You're mysterious. First guest. Actually, no, you're not the first guest to want to remain anonymous. But I'll see you guys at some point. Clearly, I haven't been consistent. I'm going through a lot of stuff.
Ain't we all?
Life is lifing hard. I'm gonna just put that out there. So, yeah, pray for me.
But also, I'd like to give a little shout out. If you are considering sugar dating, consider listening to the Sugar Daddy podcast on Spotify. I don't know if it's on Apple Music. I think it is.
They're not sponsoring me. Fuck that. Cut that out. All right. Bye, guys.